When it comes to throwing large-scale hard techno events in Australia, there aren't many that do it better than BPM, a brand focused on bringing some of the best in the world down under and making its mark on the Australian nightlife. Behind all of this is Jett, who started the brand in 2021 and has since been able to scale it from an event organizer all the way to also include management and apparel. BPM have hosted some of the best in the industry, such as BLK, Azyr, Frazi.er, Parfait, and many more. The brand also shines a light on the Australian scene, having supporting acts predominantly made up of local talent. An exciting conversation up ahead with Jett, who I'm very happy to introduce as my guest on today's episode. How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start off, we talked briefly off camera about it, but you just recently finished or just wrapped up your Inferno event with Azyr and Les.
Yep.
How was that?
Insane. Honestly, crazy. I would say the best party we've had. Wasn't the biggest one, but the energy was just like unmatched. Even when we were packing up, the venue staff, the security, they were all like, what the fuck? Like, they were like, that was crazy. Like, there was no issues. The crowd was just impeccable. It was sick.
Yeah. Do you think that was your favorite party so far that you've thrown?
Yeah. It's hard to pick. They're all good. I guess, probably one of the best.
Because that's the second time you've hosted Azyr in Australia.
Yeah, second time. So first time we had him in February.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh,
this
okay,
year, with the Frazi.er and Dina. And then we had him back for Inferno. And I think it was sick. The energy was mad. He's grown a lot as well. He's developed as a DJ. Les was sick. Everything was just insane.
Because they went back to back for like the last
so they did
hour
a surprise BTT for the last hour, which was mad, and they chucked some hardstyle in, some hardcore, and everyone just went crazy. It was really good.
Yeah, because hardstyle was sort of making it sort of like it's blending in with the hard techno sort of scene.
Yeah, it's a very blurred line, I think, between hard techno and hard style, especially like looking at early hard style. It's very similar.
What's your opinions on that? Because I've heard people are like they hate it, and some people absolutely love the fact that there's that mix. But what's your opinions on it?
Oh, I'm all for it.
Are you a hardstyle fan?
I'm originally a hardstyle person, so I've moved into the hard techno scene. I still go to like all the big hardstyle parties, but I don't see a problem with it. Obviously, like every set can't be hardstyle, but if you want to rinse it at the end of your set, I think it's great.
Yeah, you're a DJ yourself, correct?
Or barely.
More on the.
Yeah, like I do it for a hobby. Don't DJ too much.
Yeah.
I've got a gig coming up at Black Noir for our collab event, but
yes, that's right.
Other than that, I don't really have much time to hone my skills in that.
Yeah, but you recently played at Aura Festival.
No, I ended up pulling out.
Oh, okay.
I was meant to play, but I think it was the day after Azyr and Les, so it would have just been hectic. A lot to have to fly down to Melbourne the next day. But yeah, I mean, soon.
Yeah, focusing on BPM, I feel like it's a bit more important for you
at the moment. My priorities have shifted.
Yeah, what are your earliest memories of like techno, and what are your like inspirations?
Well, so I went to Tomorrowland in last year? Yeah, last year. Oh no, 2021. I went to Tomorrowland, and I was like mainly a hardstyle head then. So we went to the Exhale stage, and Cabossa was playing, and I was just like, what is this? Like, I'd never listened to hard techno before, because my kind of idea of techno was like that really melodic techno, which I'm a high energy person. Like I want to have energy when I'm partying and when I'm at a rave or a festival. So I was there and I was like, wow, this is sick. And then I got back. Actually, I think I started booking BLK while I was in Europe. I kind of started the conversation. Yeah. And then from that, it's kind of all I listen to be honest with you.
So BLK is sort of like a catalyst? Or
definitely, especially for BPM in itself. It definitely was a big turning point, and really was where we kind of found out like niche and what we wanted to do with our parties.
I guess since you are the boss of BPM, what was the inspiration of starting the brand? Because obviously there's been a transition from like events, and now you sort of you've found your niche, you found your brand, but what was like the inspiration initially?
I love music festivals. Like I used to go to like all the DEF CONs, I go to all the HSU events, I used to sell tickets for them. And I was just always like, I want to do this. I just kind of thought, why not? And I started it in during COVID, during one of the breaks in COVID, we started it. And it was a boat party in Sydney Harbour with like house music, tech house.
Such a different.
It sold out in like 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it sold like 380 tickets in like 20 minutes because it was COVID, so everyone was just frothing for anything.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple more events after that. Again, kind of more tech housey, and then it went a little bit harder in like terms of the energy, but then BLK I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. So it's kind of stuck like that.
Was that your first international BLK? Or
Yeah.
did you have?
Yeah, first international.
Were you BPM for that boat party? Or
Yeah, we were
so you've always
BPM
been
the whole time.
Yeah.
But now we're really BPM.
Yeah, now it's like BPM.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah. So walk us through that first BLK party, because that was when he was a little bit. He wasn't as popular as he is now.
No, so when I actually booked him, he only had like I think 30,000 followers, and then in the lead up of him coming, he had a lot of growth, and now he's just killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that first party with BLK?
It was sick.
Yeah, my brother went to it and he arguably said it was better than the second. It was better than the one that just went, just because it was more like
it was intimate. Yeah. It was really cool.
venue.
It was at Oxford Art Factory. Oxford Art Factory is a mad venue. The sound system was nice. The crowd was small. Yeah, it was sick. It was stressful as well though, like being an international artist and kind of having all these extra elements. Like, it was actually super stressful. So myself and then a team in Melbourne called Black Market were doing a Melbourne show, and we kind of all forgot to get a visa. And we realized for him, yeah. And we realized I think 2 weeks before. So I'm pretty close with the team at HSU, and I was like, who do you use? What do I do? Like, I had no idea how to do any of this. And then I reached out to her, this like visa agent, I guess, and she got it all sorted in time, thank God. But I was like stressing so much, like I literally put everything into that, and I was just thinking, imagine he just can't come.
Yeah,
like what do you do?
Yeah, that'd have been a stitch up.
Yep.
What was after that then? After the BLK
After
event?
that was Accelerate in February with Azyr and Frazi.er at Liberty Hall. And we had like a little warm-up party in between at Mary's Underground with some locals, which was cool. That was my first booking with Mark and Cam and a few of the other BPM family. But yeah, Accelerate was the like next biggest one after that.
So how many events have you thrown so far? Like official, like since our first BLK event?
God. BLK, Accelerate warm-up party, Parfait, 2 Infernos, and then a few locked in Saturdays.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So probably like under 10, I think.
Okay. In what, about two years now?
Of proper BPM now?
Yeah.
12 months literally yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
12
What's the
months.
date? The 18th?
The 18th, yes.
Yeah, today. So a year ago today was the first BLK.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like it was way longer than that.
Yeah, I know.
Because you brought him over when? June this year?
No, November. So he was here June this year,
Yeah.
and then November last year.
Yeah.
November 18th, because the same day as Harbour Life.
Right. Oh, last year.
Last year. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I thought it was like way longer.
No,
Like, it
it's
was
been
like,
pretty quick. Yeah.
How's the growth of like how have you like managed that growth, like that quick growth? Because you guys have blown up like
Yeah,
over the
we've
last
blown
12
up
months.
pretty quite a bit. It's been exciting. It's also stressful because I need to make sure that everything's like improving, and you know, it's all a major like learning experience for me as well, because I don't have any background in event management or anything to do with that.
No
so,
degree or anything in it?
No, nothing.
No.
I've worked full time in real estate, so
Oh, really?
it's a bit of a mix, but yeah, no, it's just been awesome to see and exciting.
Yeah. What made you like wanna? I guess you said like throwing you love festivals, and that's why you sort of threw it. What's been like your biggest learning curve since running BPM, especially the last 12 months? I feel like that's when you probably learned the most.
Yeah, the visa situation that was very stressful. I guess kind of to be a bit more cautious. I'm a very like impulsive person, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, more risk, more reward, which is important, I think, to like have risks and take risks. But I think probably to be selective in who I pick, and I think especially after a successful event, you kind of get in this headspace. You're like, oh yeah, like I'm killing it. I'm going to sell that many tickets for everything, and then you can invest a lot of money in things, and it just doesn't work out. So I think 2024 will be a lot more selective in what I do and how many parties I do, and really want to try and like scale up a bit in terms of venues and capacities and experiences
and artists and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool because we're talking off camera. Next year you've got some huge events coming up. We won't say it on here, but I'm sure they're getting announced very, very soon. Why did you choose event management instead of like DJing? Because I feel like people usually go the DJing route and they sort of start throwing events. Why did you sort of go straight into event management?
I'm a very organized person. Like I'm very like, honestly, like I can get an email about a DJ and I'll have an event ready in my notes the next day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I thrive off like kind of pressure, and I enjoy the whole process. I'm very creative. I enjoy the like overall experience of like getting the artwork made, selecting the lineup, finding the venue. So I think, and DJing, I just working full time and working Saturdays and stuff. I don't have that much time to mix every night, and and I have bad luck with USBs.
Why is that?
Oh, the last like 3 times I've gone to DJ, my USBs have corrupted. And
really?
Yeah. So I'm just like, it's a sign. I need to stick to the event management. Stick to the management.
Stick to what's working. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. So are you going to sort of like still pursue, because you still DJ on the side and stuff?
Yeah. Like I think right now, with where we are with so much growth and some big events coming up in like the first 3 months of next year, I'm going to put it to the side, and then if I am able to just do BPM full time or something, I'd probably have a bit more time to have fun and get more sets and stuff like that.
Do you see yourself quitting your job and doing BPM full time? Is that
are
on
they
the cards?
Watching? Yeah, look, I guess that's the goal.
Yeah.
But it's a lot to quit a full-time income and rely on yourself purely to like survive. Yeah.
So because you've obviously branded BPM very well. I think it's a big reason as to like what like behind the success is the branding behind it.
Yeah.
Did you have any branding experience before that, or again it's like sort of you just
I just I kind of just learnt it myself. Like as I said, I'm pretty creative and I know like what looks good and what works and like social media and stuff like that. So I don't have any like training or experience in it, but again, I've learned a lot of what people like to see, and I guess pulled kind of inspiration from parties overseas and stuff like that, and how I want my brand to look online. And I think with the rebrand and the new logo and stuff, like now it's really going to change from this point even more than what it was. Like we've always had pretty awesome content and stuff. But now I've got a really good team of videographers, photographers and graphic designers that are now it's you'll see what we're doing.
Big things coming.
Yeah, big things are coming.
You say you draw a lot of inspiration from like European parties. Is that from like what you've experienced, just what you've seen?
Both. So I've been to a few festivals overseas. Haven't been back since I've really gotten a major like love for hard techno, so I want to try and go over this year and go to some big parties. But yeah, a lot of it's like I guess also from hardstyle, because hardstyle parties are insane. Like they're crazy. Like even if you don't like the music, you need to be able to appreciate the amount of production and everything that goes into it, which I think definitely draw quite a bit of inspiration from.
Yeah. Do you think BPM would ever host like a hardstyle party?
Probably not.
No.
HSU do it too good.
Yeah.
Why would I compete with them?
Yeah.
Maybe a collab.
If you're watching HSU, hit him up. What sort of events have you been into Europe besides Tomorrowland you mentioned? What sort of other events have you been to?
I've been to Tomorrowland twice. I've been to DEF CON. I've been to Kappa Festival. I think that's about it in terms of festivals. I was meant to go to another one under a bridge in London, but that got cancelled.
Like a party?
Yeah, like it was called Junction, I think. But it got cancelled. But yeah, I want to go to I want to do ADE next year and I want to go to like some big parties. I want to go to Teletech. They're awesome. I draw a lot of inspiration from them. Glitch looks sick, so hopefully get to Europe a couple times next year.
Yeah.
Because
Europe's. I feel like Australia. We're there, but I feel like we're just too far from everyone.
We're so far. We are so far, and it's like flights are so expensive, so it makes it hard to throw a big party, especially in a scene that's growing. Because realistically, like, it's growing, but it's not there yet to host an event with like 20,000 people.
Like a hard techno event.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think yet. Soon.
Like just pure hard techno event? Like just no one, like a Teletech sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't think we're at that stage?
Not yet, I don't think. Like, maybe, but again, then it comes down to like your brand as well. Like, you need to reach that many people to sell that many tickets. Yeah. So, yeah, I reckon next year. Like, already there's a lot of growth in the scene, and every party I have, there's new faces there, which is exciting.
What's been like your favourite festival in Europe that you've attended?
Tomorrowland.
Which, the first time or second time?
Probably. It's hard. I don't know. It's just incredible. Like, it's just it's just when you're there, you're just like, how is this real? Like, everything around you is just insane. Like, there's people driving bicycles around with bubbles blowing out of it, and like there's just people in costumes everywhere, and it's just like so surreal. Like, it's honestly like, it's an experience. Like, you can't even, and the scale of it is just like, what the hell. DEFCON was awesome too. Kappa Festival didn't grab me.
Oh really?
Yeah, it looked amazing last year though, but the year that I went, it was so poorly organized. It was so hot. Like, there was no free water.
Oh,
there was no toilet paper. Like, it was just a nightmare.
Sounds like an Aussie festival.
No, I'm kidding. Fire festival.
Who was headlining in that one?
It wasn't as hard. So it was like Fisher, Peggy Goo, Carl Cox played. But last year's lineup was awesome, and it looked awesome.
Is that when you went last year?
No, I went the year before.
Right. Who was playing last year?
Last year was like 9x9, I Hate Models, Trim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really hard techno.
Why do you reckon they went from like such a housey lineup to like?
They have a few stages, so that's who was there at the more like the harder stage rather than main stage. But probably just because of the scene right now, it's just huge. Like, even Tomorrowland, like, majority of the main stage, I think last year was all hard techno.
That's true. Yeah, actually, I saw that techno. Like, Tomorrowland shifted from being, your Dimitri Vegas and like Martin Garrix sort of thing to, I think, Charlotte DeWitt closing a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think they'd still definitely stay true to their like Martin Garrix, etc., etc. And like, I don't like that music, but when you're there, it's like, oh my god, this is so Tomorrowland. But yeah, it's changed a lot.
How have you seen it? Like, how have you seen it change? Obviously, being in that hard tech scene. Why do you think it's changed so much?
I think because it's new and it's exciting. Like, it's something different. And obviously there's some people out there who hate it and think it's not techno, but like, who cares? Like, it's sick.
Yeah. Because like, I've seen it. Yeah, I feel like, do you reckon it's growing because you're just like more involved in it and you're like aware of it? Or do you think it's because it's just genuinely growing so much faster?
I think it's genuinely growing. Like, even looking at like festival lineups, like everywhere, like there's always a hard techno artist on it now. Like, even Dream State this year, there's a hard techno stage here next weekend. So,
but even like Pitch next year as well. Like,
Pitch is heaps of hard techno.
No, I don't know. I'm a bit of a rookie of Pitch. I went this year in March. And, I don't know. Yeah, there was still hard tech there. There was, like, a lot of hard techno, but I feel like next year's lineup is just...
I think they've put a lot of their money into hard techno headliners.
Like 9x9.
9x9, I Hate Models. So, like, they're really the draw cards. Whereas there was a lot of... I've never actually been to Pitch. I want to go, but... Are
you going to go next year?
I won't be able to, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But it'll still be... there's still plenty of years. They're only in their 7th installment, so...
Yeah. Pitch looks awesome.
By the looks of how popular it is.
Yeah.
Don't think
it's not going anywhere.
I don't think it's going anywhere, and I think the lineup's only going to get better.
Yeah,
year after year. I want to go back to like the branding part of it.
Yeah.
And you said that, like, you haven't really had any you didn't really have much branding experience before building BPM, but like, what are your key, like, I guess, pillars or a piece of advice that you would give people trying to start like a brand like BPM?
I think just like content, like good content is so important. Good content. Like, I have one of my events next year, my videographer and my photographer are maybe not going to be available, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I need that quality there, and I think it's important to like know what people want to see. When because I run the Instagram and everything, like I had a friend doing it for a bit, and it's just like something that I think I'm a perfectionist and I know how I want everything to be. So the only way I need to learn to allocate things to other people. But like for me, I know what people like, and I don't really post too much. Like I kind of just post shit that people want to see, videos, reels are good.
Yeah.
And just have like cohesiveness across everything. I think that's really important.
What do you mean? Can you be a bit more specific with like cohesiveness? Like,
just have your content like all uniform, like high quality. You can't be like posting a shitty video that you like screen recorded off something. Like, I think that's really important that you're showing what people are going to experience. So like, if your photos don't show that, how is anyone going to kind of build trust in what like and buy a ticket to what you're selling? I think. So yeah, I think it's just like for me especially, like content needs to be 10 out of 10, which is why I'm kind of glad now I've got my 3 teams. Like I've got a videographer who does all my like edits, and then I've got a photographer who does all the photography. But like I've even given him some more like ideas and things that I want done. So he's working with the videographer to do these new styles of reels that I'll have pretty soon from Inferno. And then I've got a videographer who does photography and videography at my smaller parties, and then at the bigger ones he does just like the raw content.
Right.
Cahill, he's a
G. I've had him on. A while ago now.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, so that's like your main sort of piece of advice in branding is just like making sure everything's just in check.
Yeah, like have a standard that you want everything to be at.
Yeah. What I like, so in terms of social media, do you have any other advice for building? Because social media is so important now.
Social media is weird. I can't work out TikTok. Like I really can't. Like I put like our awesome reels on TikTok and it gets like 300 views, and I'm like, what? Like why? Like on Instagram it's got 120,000 views. Why on TikTok doesn't it? And then I've got a friend of mine who like did a random TikTok before Inferno, and it was literally like you can do like swipes on it. I don't watch TikTok, so I don't know how to use it really. And she was like a photo of one of our little parties with like 3 people in the crowd, and it was like, the caption was like, I wish there was a hard techno event in Sydney. And then it slid over to our logo and it said, oh wait. And then it went to the Inferno artwork, and it got like 48,000 views, and I was like, what? Like that's shit. Like why is that doing that? And then I did one and it like flopped and got like 800 views, and then she did another one and it got like 15,000 views, and it was that same style. So I think reels for me are really good. Boosts are good as well to like try and find new people. And I think like now obviously we've got like quite a few followers, so Instagram naturally pushes your content more when you have more following, because more people trust you, and it kind of works out who is looking at your stuff. But yeah, I love a reel. I love an after movie.
Yeah, see, mine's the opposite. My TikToks do okay, but my reels are just shit. Like I just get nothing for reels. Like I think the biggest one I've had is like, you know, I'm still grateful for it, but like it's been like 5,000 views.
Yeah, it's hard to crack. Like some of them just crack it, and then I find once one of them goes well, they all kind of go relatively well.
Yeah. Because I saw a video of Azyr at your a video of the Azyr event, and it got like 70,000 likes at the BPM.
Oh
event.
yeah, the TikTok. Yeah, someone posted it. One of the guys who comes to all of our parties, and I think it's like, we got tagged by 3 big like techno pages, like Techno Belgium shared it, Techno shared it, and then this other techno page, all with like 200k followers plus, all reposted on Instagram and stuff. And I was like, wow, like that's a good video.
That helped you following? Did you like see a massive spike?
Not really, to be honest. Yeah, like we got a few, but our growth's been like relatively consistent. Like some days I get like 100 followers.
Is that good or bad for you?
I think that's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah. But it goes up and down as well. Like, so yeah, but yeah, no, it didn't really help it too much.
Yeah.
Like we got I noticed a few like from overseas and stuff, and like some DJs and stuff from overseas, but yeah, nothing crazy.
So your followers more like Australian?
Yeah, like majority of them are Australian. We have like quite a few in the UK. Yeah, some in Indonesia for some reason, because I was in Bali and like did a few posts while I was there on the
really?
VPM account. Yeah, but
yeah. Speaking of Indonesia and Bali, you have like a Loose Lips Bali.
Yeah,
is that something you're working on?
Something I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's not really related to BPM. It's something different.
What's that?
It's going to be like a cocktail service. So you can book a bartender to come and make cocktails at your villa.
Oh shit! So it's like completely
different. No relation. But BPM Bali hopefully is going to happen soon. I'm just working out 2024 and what I've got on and stuff.
Are you bringing hard tech to Bali?
Yeah.
How do you think that'll go?
I think it'll go good.
You think so? Why do you reckon Bali? Because they're very much like house sunsets on the beach sort of vibe.
Yeah.
How do you think hard techno will go on Bali?
I think I'm going to make it. I'm not going to do it at like a time where I'm relying on who's there. I'm going to make it more of a experience where people will go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm thinking it will be like a kind of 3-day thing, different experience each day, and hopefully people come for it. I think they will.
What do you mean by three?
So like rather than just like, it would only be like a one-off thing. And like say day 1 beach club, and it may not be as hard as usual. Then like day 2 nightclub, day 3 recovery party or something like that. So it's not like, oh, it's just one night at a club. You know what I mean? Make it more of a reason for people to want to travel over there.
So you're relying on people already being in Bali, or you're like fly over to Bali?
I think fly over to Bali more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a bit of a risk in that, or do you?
Yeah, but what did
I mean, you've mentioned big risk, big reward. Because what sort of internationals are you going to bring over? Internationals for that event, or is it?
I don't know. I haven't put much thought to it. I was putting a lot of thought into it, but then a few things have come up for like the first quarter of next year, so I'm just focusing on that at the moment. And then that's all I really have planned for next year. I've got a little event that will be early Feb as well. That will be something a bit different as well.
It's a bit smaller.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how far in advance do you usually plan your events?
It depends. Like ideally, from this point, I want to try and kind of have everything releasing at least 3 months out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I did that with Inferno, and it was good. It worked well because it gives people time to think about it and to buy tickets, and so, but in saying that, like maybe it could be we might be doing something for New Year's, so like and I haven't even thought about it yet. But ideally I think minimum 3 months, 4 months. But it depends on the scale of it as well. If it's something smaller, it doesn't need as much time. But if it's something bigger, it needs time.
You think so? Like, you think bigger events need more time?
Yeah.
Even though it's like a bigger name, it's probably sell out a bit faster.
Well, we don't have many venues in Sydney, do we? So that's my biggest struggle at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially like with like obviously we're kind of at a point where we're growing a lot, and it's like, you know, you have your Manning bars, which is like $950, Liberty Hall 1200, Metro 1100. And then it's like the next step is Horden, which is like 5,000. So there's not really any in between. Like there's what's it called? The Roundhouse, but they're scared of hard techno.
Oh really?
Yeah.
They had X-Hub there last year.
Yeah, of course they did, but no. It's too. What was the wording they used? How did they say it? It could jeopardize their reputation.
Right. Okay.
So
it's weird because they had X-Hub there, and like obviously X-Hub is not like your hard techno, but it's still fast and hard.
Oh, like, let's be real. People get cooked everywhere they go. Like, you can go down to the friggin' Coogee Bay and, like...
Oh, is that why they're more scared? Because of the
I
crowd
think-
that's going to attract?
Yeah, they're scared of the crowd and what... But, like, as I said, Manning Bar's, like, literally, like, you're welcome back anytime because our crowd's sick. Everyone's there for the music. There was no trouble.
It's a uni. It's like it's UCID and
Yeah.
then UNSW.
Yeah.
So
So and even the audio tech at Manning Bar works at the Roundhouse, and he came up to me and was like, "You need to get into the Roundhouse," and he tried to help me get in there, and they didn't reply to me. Yeah.
So do you think we need that sort of like, because that gap from like, what's Liberty Hall?
1,200.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is that including the balcony as well?
Yeah.
Because you got Liberty Hall, and then after that, what is Horden?
Greenwood is kind of big, but it's outdoors. Manning Bar Courtyards is decent if you use both of them, which is 2,000. I'm a thirsty guy, so
That's all good. It's a hot day anyway.
yeah, but other than that, it's literally like Horden. Like there's a few. No, that's it. Yeah,
Do you think Horden has potential to be a venue?
definitely something I'm working on.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Would that be like a multi headliner?
yeah,
Like two or three headliners?
yeah,
Internationals?
yeah.
That should be fun. When are you planning to work that one out?
Probably, hopefully next year's the goal.
Next year, end of next year?
Yeah.
Because you don't plan.
Yeah.
That far ahead.
I plan. I'm trying to plan. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot of politics involved with everything and like trying
Venues and stuff.
venues and even getting like a date from a venue. Like there's so much shit on like across all the genres and DJs are busy. Like sometimes they can't even commit to something that far away. So but that's a goal before the end of next year. I want to try and do something pretty big.
Yeah, because I was talking to Steve from Black Noir, and I think he's got things planned out for like the horizon.
Yeah, I think if I didn't work full time, I would be much more like proactive in my planning ahead. But I've also got a few big things on in the first quarter of next year, and then I think I'm kind of just going to chill for a bit and work out the next steps. Yeah.
How do you balance that? How do you balance working full time? Because obviously real estate's a big gig.
Yeah.
But how do you balance that and then obviously all the other stuff that you've already scaled up to with BPM? Now you've got artist management and apparel.
Yeah.
The apparel's like sort of like growing a lot more. How have you sort of been able to manage working full time and then also BPM?
I just do it 24/7.
No sleep.
No, I sleep. I definitely sleep, but I just like BPM is full on, especially at the moment with some of the big events that I have coming up. But I guess like they say, you never work a day if you love your job. So like it's intense sometimes, and sometimes I'm super drained. But it's like I love doing it, and it's like a passion for me. And I think that's a major thing. Like I'm so passionate about it, so I'm happy to like sacrifice other things and sacrifice my lunch break.
Oh, so you're working lunch break as well on like BPM?
So yeah, pretty much like lunch. I'll go home, have some lunch, and
you live close to the office?
Yeah, I live like
that's a
10
good
minutes away. So I'll go home for lunch and just like BPM while I'm on my break, and then I'll finish work and I'll BPM a bit more.
Because you travel a bit as well.
A
how do
little
you
bit.
manage-
I like to, but not so much this year. I haven't travelled too much.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Okay.
BPM's draining my funds.
Yeah, because obviously you're making money, but I'm sure it's not like...
It's not what everyone thinks it is. It's like there's the thing is like, you can start a business and sell a service and every cent you make is yours.
Yeah.
But with something like this, it's like, oh, cool. That event went really well. Now I need to spend all of that into something else and hope that it pays off and hope that it works out. And like I've had events that like have completely fucked me.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah. Like the Accelerate last year was like a big significant loss for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why is that, do you reckon?
I got excited after BLK and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it was an awesome party and I kind of don't regret it. Because it was a learning experience for me, but I refused to like reduce like my experience because it didn't work out. You know what I mean? Like the venue Liberty Hall called me and they're like, oh, do you want to change it to Mary's Underground? I was like, no, like no way. Like I don't care if I haven't sold enough tickets to make it feasible. Like I've got the production all sorted. I can't, it won't work there. So yeah.
What do you think? So was it just like a lack of ticket sales that?
Yeah.
That
I spent too much money on production that was competing with like a million events that night. Azyr was like so small. Like when I booked Azyr, I think he had 3,000 followers.
Oh wow, that's insane considering what he has now.
Yeah, Ollie's grown so much, and like it shows like in that last party, like that sold out on the door, which was big, and there was a lot of like Marlon Hofstadt was on that night. Xenia, was it? I think last week. Xenia, yeah. And there was another hard techno event on. So for that to sell out on the door was pretty good. Yeah, and it's I guess a testament to his success.
Yeah, and Les, and I think
Les was sick.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't talked enough about her.
Les is awesome. Well, everyone like knows Azyr because he's like been here a couple of times. Les is so lovely. Yeah, so lovely. To be honest, like all the DJs that I've met, like they're just awesome.
Are they both in the UK?
Les is from France.
Oh, she's French.
Yeah,
okay,
she's French. She's young as well. She's like 23.
How old is he?
About the same, 23 I think.
Yeah. He looks young.
Yeah, he looks young.
I don't think he's old. But yeah, he blew up from that boiler room in Teletech. Yeah. That was his like defining moment.
That was definitely like where it all started for him. And now he's killing it. They're both. They're like they're really close, and they I was glad I had them both. That were really cool.
Yeah. How was the second BLK event?
Intense.
Because you did it for Melbourne as well. So you toured him.
So we did the full tour. We did Melbourne on the Friday, Sydney on the Saturday, and Perth on the Sunday.
Fire. How's you were involved in all those three?
I organised all three shows.
How was that?
It was a lot. My phone also got stolen, and I had no PIN code on it, and they like hacked my whole life.
Oh really?
Yeah, they hacked everything.
Where did it get stolen?
In Melbourne. So for the rest of the tour, I was just like
phoneless.
Well, no, it was my BPM phone. So I had one to help do the merch, and the merch girls, it kept locking on them, and they kept forgetting the password. So we took the password off, and then someone stole it, hacked my Apple ID, my MyGov, my Zip Pay, my Latitude Pay, my everything. It had like photos of my cards on there. So that was a bit of a mood killer.
Yeah, that would add to the stress as well.
Yeah. So like in Sydney, like I was like beside myself, and in Perth as well. Like I was just so stressed about that, but it was awesome. Like, and that was also the second time we've had Zach BLK. So we've got relationships, and it was fun.
Yeah,
it was sick.
Because how I've talked to Mark about him, because Mark was on that event. How was interacting with BLK? Black Traffic was there as well, and like
I actually caught up with Black Traffic on Thursday night.
Yeah, because he's here now. He's on a little tour.
Yeah, he played at Mary's Underground with Shelter on Friday, and then he's playing at some festival in Melbourne today. But yeah, they're just normal people. Like
I feel like
that's what you forget. And even me, I'm like, oh my god, like when we first met, like BLK, I was like we went out for dinner and stuff, and then he ended up coming back to mine, and we were having a mix, and I was like, holy shit, BLK's in my lounge room.
Like the second time?
The first time.
Oh, the first time.
And then it's like you get to know them, and it's just like they're just normal people. Yeah. Like obviously there's a few of them. haven't met any of them, but like you hear stories about like these DJs, and they're just like awful people, and like, but I haven't come across it.
Yeah, is that like an important thing for you, like building those relationships with those DJs?
Yes, for sure. I think it's super important. And like, why wouldn't you want to build a relationship with someone who's helping like you do something you love, and like, yeah, I'm just a relationship builder.
Yeah, what are your keys for that then? Because obviously there's a lot of people that run events and they have big names come out. What are like your keys to building that relationship with them to be able to like because obviously he had BLK the second time, and I'm sure he was, all for it the second time because of that relationship you initially built. So what are your key like relationship building tips?
I think it's easy to just like tour them, and just like they get because when you're touring someone, you need to pay for their flights, you need to have transfers for them from the airport to the hotel, and then from the hotel to the venue, and like I think it's easy to just do that and then that's it. Whereas like I'll generally try and do a dinner with them, and like obviously sometimes they're jet lagged and like shit's rushed and stuff, so you can't. But yeah, just like spending time with them, and like I'll try and always pick up my DJs from the airport myself if I can, and just like have fun, make it fun for them, make it enjoyable. Yeah.
Where'd you take BLK?
The first time?
No.
We actually did. We even the first time we went to, where did we go? We went to Meat and Wine Co. in Barangaroo.
Okay, that's fancy.
And we got a bit lit up there. And then we went back to, I was like house sitting my brother's place, and he was away, and he had like a nice apartment. So we went back to his, and I sent my mate Brody, who helps me with some stuff for BPM, and he's a DJ. I was like, go get the decks. So I got an Uber, packed the decks and the speakers and everything into the Uber, and then met us back at there, and we had a few drinks and stuff, and it was so surreal. It was awesome. It was a bit of a regret the next day because we all had very sore heads and I had a lot to do. But
did he play the next day? Or?
Yeah, he played the next day, but he was well behaved. He went home. I kicked on with Color Crew for a little bit.
Did you taught him this year with Reboot?
Yeah, so Reboot the first time came out as well.
Okay,
so we built that relationship with all the managements like Duffy and stuff. And the first time like BLK brought his girlfriend, Duffy, who owns Reboot, brought his wife. So it was really nice to like build. It was like we're like a little family. Like we may be doing some other things with them soon. Can't say much, but hopefully, yeah. So then we did the full tour and brought Black Traffic along last year. So we met them in Melbourne and just did the same again, pretty much.
What was like a massive learning curve during that tour, that 3-day tour that you did?
Put a password on your phone.
I'm gonna say, don't lose your phone.
To be honest, like it was all pretty smooth sailing until that happened. Like obviously there's like stressful moments and stuff, but I think if you're organized, and like I was lucky, like that sold out. Melbourne sold out for the original venue in 2 days, 800 tickets.
Where was that?
That was meant to be at the third day, which is a really cool space in Melbourne. And then when that sold out, I was like, okay, well, we need something bigger. So then we moved it to 170 Russell, and that was 1,400, and that sold out, and Liberty Hall sold out. So like, there's not that much stress going into it when you know, okay, like
sold out.
This is sweet. But yeah, just like I didn't really. Probably the phone.
So it was a smooth running event. Those 2 days.
No issues.
Were you shocked that it was so smooth? Besides the phone, obviously.
Not really. Like I had a relationship with them, so I wasn't under too much pressure on like we knew each other. We booked like 2 big Airbnbs and like stayed in the same block. Like it was casual. Like we went for a swim. Like we went shopping. Like we had that relationship, so it wasn't like super high pressure as if you had like some big name who you've never met and you're like, holy shit, this all needs to be perfect. Like they're there to help as well.
There's like mates. You were just hanging out.
We were just hanging out.
That's pretty cool to have like that relationship with someone of obviously Black Traffic as well. Is that like do you think in BPM for yourself it's a bit unique, or do you have that sort of relationship with most of the DJs that you bring out?
Me and Ollie as well, Azyr, close. He because that was the second time I met him as well. I think the multiple shows really like cements a relationship, like because you really like you meet them and then you see them again. You know what I mean? And you see growth. Like me and Azyr were saying like how much we've both grown in that time. Like BPM's grown crazy, so much. Yeah. He's grown so much as a DJ. He's doing some massive parties and stuff. So I think, the multiple shows really helps like cement that.
Because, that's actually like, I find that really interesting because I always wonder like what the relationship is between the DJ and the organizer. Yeah. Sometimes, as you said, it could just be like, just.
Sometimes it's just like purely transactional and they don't want to, like they may not want to see you and like they just come play and that's kind of it.
Have you had that experience? Not naming any names, but.
No, like, maybe, but like they've always been lovely still. Like a lot of them are like flying all over the world. Like some of them haven't slept at home in like months, or they'll sleep there for a night here, a night there. So you need to also like respect that they're tired, and Australia, as you said, is so far away. Yeah. Like, and like for them, like touring is one thing, but then touring to Australia and flying 27 hours is a different story. And usually because their time is so valuable, it's a pretty quick process. It's like you fly in on Thursday, you play on Friday, you play on Saturday, you play on Sunday, and then you go back home. So getting over jet lag and stuff, I think it would be intense. And having energy to put out to people and to like provide would also be a lot.
Have you had any complaints about the flight time? People are like,
no, everyone's always really excited to come out to Australia. And I think like I've been saying this to a few people recently, like, although like Australia's scene's not huge and the parties aren't huge and stuff, like it's a real like bucket list thing for a lot of people to say they played in Australia. And I think that like you notice a lot of growth in DJs when they've played here. Like I've noticed, yeah, like even though it's not like massive shows, like I think it's just like a flex, you know? Like, so yeah, they never complain.
Yeah, I think it's cool because I always bring it back to the whole like, you know, R&B, techno sort of electronic music space.
Yeah.
It's cool how like they're so keen to come to Australia, whereas like with a lot of artists, like, you know, you're big, I mean, I'm not going to compare like Taylor Swift and The Weeknd and stuff, but I feel like you get a lot more diversity in terms of international acts that come down to Australia as opposed to like R&B and...
Oh yeah, because they always pull out.
Like The Weeknd
it's like
out.
A known thing that like R&B and rappers especially like will just say the day before, "Nah, I'm not going."
Yeah, like Listen Out's so like
they always
do that.
Yeah,
but like even The Weeknd pulled out from his tour next year.
Wasn't his tour supposed to be like next weekend? No, was it?
Was it? Yeah, it was.
It was next weekend, and he pulled out like last week.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 weeks ago.
What?
Yeah, it was meant to play on the same night as Dream State,
yeah,
which would have been crazy because they're both in Olympic Park.
Oh,
that would have been
a nightmare.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
Well, it's like when there's some HSU event and it's always like what is it? There's always a big football game on or something.
Oh, and NRL Grand Final.
Yeah.
And they play, and they have...
and Carnival knockout. Is it? Oh, Knockout. Yeah, Carnival's in Melbourne. Knockout. Yeah, it's the same day, I'm pretty sure.
And they're both in Olympic Park.
Yeah.
That would be chockers.
Yeah.
2 different crowds as well. Imagine like families walking out and then a bunch of...
When worlds collide.
A bunch of ravers walking out of Knockout at like 10 p.m. That would be...
Yeah.
A culture shock for, I think, both sets of fans. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, international artists are so like... willing to come out to Australia, whereas with like rappers and stuff, you don't really see that. Why do you reckon that is? As you said, it's a bucket list item, but why do you think they're so willing to come out to Australia, even like not once but twice or multiple times? Have like anyone that you've toured, like Azyr or BLK or anyone else that you've toured, have they mentioned like why Australia is such like a hotspot?
Not really. Like I think just because it's so far, like it's not easy to get a booking here as well because like you know. Well, it might be, but like when you think about it, like flights are so expensive, it's so far away. So like to make it worth, like as a promoter, like you need to be selective with who you're going to fly here to play at something because it's a big investment. Whereas if you're in the UK and you want to book someone, it's a 30-minute flight and it's probably cost you $100 and you know what I mean? So yeah, they haven't mentioned anything in particular, but I'd say that's probably why.
Why do you think they've sort of like, they're so keen to come to Australia as well? Has been any mention about that besides, you know, us being the beaches and stuff?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's like the beaches and stuff. They haven't really mentioned anything. Yeah,
I feel like it's something.
Other than it's just like it's cool, like because a lot of people want to go to Australia, but it's so far, it's expensive, and like when you think about it, like a lot of people in Europe have never gone to Australia, so like to come here and DJ and like do something that you love, I'd say would be something pretty awesome.
Yeah, tap into a new market as well.
Yeah,
because I just said, they grow crazy.
Yeah.
Even though they're already big in Australia. Why do you think they grow so much?
I don't know. I think it's just because it's something different. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what? That's happening in Australia? So I think, probably it's just different. It's like, you know, they can fly around Europe so easily. So seeing them somewhere new is probably unique.
Yeah.
Which is probably why like that video that blew up was shared across 3 different pages, including Techno Belgium, because it's like in Azyr in Australia. Like that's crazy.
And the video itself was like
the
crazy.
Video was
mental. Who are like your favorite artists at the moment in the hard tech scene?
I love Oguz.
Oguz?
Yeah. His track selection is just such good tracks. Who else? I love Les. Les's tracks are sick. She plays a bit of hardstyle at the end of her sets, which I like. Sarah Landry is awesome.
Is that potential on BPM on the cards for BPM?
Maybe, hopefully one day.
I mean, she fits the brand.
She fits the brief, yeah. That would be cool, but yeah, nothing locked in for her at this stage.
Anyone else that you sort of like favorite artist at the moment?
I love Clang Quensler. Kabossel's awesome.
He started your whole. He's your like.
Well, he's it. Yeah. Who else?
Is there anyone that's like underrated that no one really knows of that you sort of look at and it hasn't blown up, but you see him having potential or them having potential?
There's so many awesome producers, and I think like a lot of them are kind of getting to that point in their careers where, like, I'm talking like Alex Farrell. Have you heard of him? Yeah. He's 16.
Is he 16?
He's 16 years old.
I was talking to Opera Da Vinci, and then I still couldn't believe that he's 16.
Yeah, he's 16. He's an awesome producer. Me and him chat every now and then. There's so many talented people. I love I don't know how to say it. Pisapia.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. I like his tracks. Who else do I listen to? I've been just honestly listening on repeat to Ogres' Tegendrad set in the Netherlands.
Recently heard that. That's such a
I have literally been listening to it on repeat for the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's such a good set.
It's such a good set.
It's like a wild ride.
Oh,
it just like takes you on a journey.
His track selection is just impeccable.
And his mixing as well. Like you feel like it's just one big song.
Yeah. He's sick and he's blown up. He's huge.
I think that Teletech Boiler Room like helped a lot of DJs. Like I'm sure Ogres and Azyr, they were established great DJs and stuff, but I feel like there's always at that moment where they just go to the next
It's
level.
like the next step, yeah.
Like I feel like that was definitely it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Ogres is like, I think he's like over 400,000 followers now.
Oh really?
Like he's a relatively new DJ as well. Like,
is he?
Yeah, well it did when I'm pretty sure Golden Season was where it all changed for him, and was that released this year or last year?
So I'm not too familiar with his discography.
I'm not good with dates, to be honest.
What about like any house, or do you listen, or are you sort of just only hard techno?
At the moment I'm kind of only hard techno. I used to love Clune, CLOONE. I like that music. It's a bit different. Hardstyle I listen to every now and then, but honestly, like main thing I listen to is hard techno. Or maybe the radio and listen to some Taylor Swift every now and then.
Wow, that's such like a polar opposites that one is.
Need a turn off sometimes, but yeah, no, mainly
you need a reset.
Techno.
Unless you lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
So many times when you listen to hard techno, it's like you listen to it like for a while and you just like absolutely lose yourself to it.
Yeah.
You need that break.
Yeah.
I think this might be a good segue into our next little segment that I messaged you before about.
Yep.
I'm not sure how prepared you are for this.
I'm prepared.
So what we're going to be doing is I've asked Jett to prepare a list, and I prepared a list myself. Since we're coming to the end of the year, this is getting recorded in the middle of November. We thought we'd do our top 5 boiler rooms of 2023. Now, this list is subjective, so just because your favorite boiler room isn't on the list doesn't mean that we don't rate it. It just means it's not in our top 5. So please keep that in mind when listening to this. How do you want to do it? Do you want to go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2?
So you want to go in order?
Yeah.
Oh, can I get my phone?
Yes, go. Well, I don't think you've memorized it.
I don't listen to that much boiler room sets, to be honest.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I know. I listen to lots of Verknip sets.
Okay.
But I've got a list.
I should have done Verknip then instead. Okay. Do you want to go first with your number 5?
I don't know if this one's in 2023 though.
Okay. What is it?
DJ Heartstring.
Yeah, that was this year.
It was?
The AVA Festival one?
Yeah,
yes.
The outdoor one is like some like Irish guy and he's like talking. Yeah,
AVA Festival, that's the one.
Okay.
My one is Channel Trace in Madrid.
Wait, so this is number 5?
Yeah, so your number 5 is?
DJ Heartstring.
Okay,
yeah.
My number 5 is Channel Trace in Madrid. Bit of a niche one. He's not really a DJ, so I think that's why I really enjoyed it. But it's very like calm and housey.
Yep.
Yeah, what's your 4?
Sarah Kin at Glitch Festival in the Boiler Room.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one, I think.
Yeah, her intro is really cool.
Yeah, mine's actually also from Glitch. Mine's Schlar or Schlaer. I don't know how you say that. He's more like a hard groovy DJ, but
Okay.
it was just an hour and a bit of just full unreleased tracks from Schleer. What's number 3?
Number 3 is Azyr Teletech Festival.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
See, the Teletech one, I feel like I could literally make a whole list of just...
My whole list was that. And I was like, I can't go with this.
Yeah.
Like, so I did some more thinking.
Okay, my number 3 is Jett in London.
Yep.
But just good energy. Just housey. Good energy.
So you're a house music fan?
No, I'm everything. I feel like I love everything. I love my hard techno as well. Like when I saw 9x9 I Hate Models on pitch lineup, I literally was like, started screaming. I was like, what the fuck? So no. But like, yeah, no, my next two are definitely like a bit harder than house. Yeah. What's your number 2?
Number 2 for me was Diane at Teletech Festival. That's a great set. That's a really good set.
Okay. Well, mine's actually who we're just talking about, which is Ogres at Teletech.
Okay.
I really like that. I think that one...
he was on my list, but then I thought I needed to mix it up from Teletech, so I took him off.
Yeah, because I think that's the set that sort of put me on him. That like made me like a fan of his.
Yep.
Okay, and then number 1? What's
number one is
2023?
Less at Teletech Festival.
Another Teletech one. So you got 3 Teletech ones.
Yeah.
Okay, and my number 1 is X Club at AVA Festival, just because I'm a massive fan. I think it was great to see them finally get a boiler room.
Yeah.
At such a great festival. Yeah. So yeah, that's our top 5. Obviously, if you agree with it, I mean, if you don't, then that's okay, because obviously you have a different top 5, but hopefully someone in that list is, in your top 5 as well. I think that's a great way to end the episode, something a bit more lighthearted, a bit more fun. Obviously, guys, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Follow BPM, follow Jett, because off camera we've been chatting, and then, very exciting things happening with BPM in the hard techno space. And I think they're pioneering that space, along with a lot of other collectives as well. But, as I said, like, share, subscribe. Hopefully you guys enjoy the episode. But besides that, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Thank you.